There's this saying, like it was like third time's the charm, right? Which basically, as far as I know, or as far as I understand it, it basically means the more you try something, in theory, uh, by the time you try whatever it is you were doing for the third time, you should have it have been able to correct whatever was going wrong the first two times, and the third time it'll go according to plan. And I have learned just today that that is total bullshit because I think this is the fifth game today that I've tried to play that has fucking well, this is the fifth game. The first four all were like sub 7 minutes, and uh and it was like absolute bullshit because literally the games were just absolute like dog shit quality. Not just because I didn't really do much, because the fucking game ended in 7 minutes, but just because the game ended in 7 minutes, so really nothing of interest happened that did or didn't involve me. And that happened for four games in a row. Like, although I guess the fourth one was like 10 minutes instead of like seven, but either way, it sucked. And speaking of sucking, there's a bunch of blacklisted people here, so gonna be reporting them. And I have our CV blacklisted, and he's fucking pink, so that's a great sign. So automatically, right off the bat, I'm gonna have to be doing some heavy lifting if we're going to be carrying this one, boys. Implacable's all the way over there, so that's fine. First things first, well, I guess second thing is second at this point. Matchmaking. There's obviously carriers. There's one 9 kilometer radar, so that's not too bad. Though all of those guns are gonna be annoying to deal with. There's a Low Yang. There's only one destroyer per team, so I'm gonna have to do my best to stay alive. And two submarines, so not too bad matchmaking, although I could live without and of fucking course, the Cleveland and the Low Yang are both over here, which is less than optimal, but you know what? I guess we'll just gotta have to deal with it. I do have a submarine here that can spot the Low Yang for me, so hopefully I might be able to get at least a few shots in trade off with him if this salmon spots him. And he got hard spotted by something. Of course, all those shots missed. He's just gonna dive under those. Low Yang's torps are expended, so that's good for me. Cleveland's right there is gonna be annoying to work around though. I'm gonna have to stick around like this edge of the cap in order to both try and engage the Low Yang. Although the Low Yang does still have his Hydro gimmick. Well, I don't know if his Hydro is up or not right now, but if it's not, he still has his Smoke Hydro gimmick, and Low Yang does have that 6 kilometer Hydro to gimmick people with. Although when he's gonna full speed like that, and I have armor piercing loaded, for some fucking reason, those will give him something to think about there. On. That'll block his line of fire. No one else is in range. That Loyang's not in the cap right now, which you can obviously tell from the fact that I'm capping it right now. There is the Bismarck and the Sinop that's threatening to push in pretty hard right now, and there's the Loyang back in the cap. There's really not a whole lot I can do about it as long as that gimmick is up. So I'm going to be turning my attention more towards this Bismarck and Sinop. I think the Bismarck's going to be hard to torpedo because of his hydro. On the bright side, I'm not being griefed by a carrier right now, at least not yet. I think of these two targets between the Sinop and the Bismarck, I think this Bismarck is my more appealing target. Although I'm gonna be forced to smoke here to preserve my health. There's just no way that I can deal with just being open water spotted that close to a Bismarck.
Our team has taken the lead.
Let's see. Goes to shores.
Smoke screen set.
Can I blind fire this Bismarck? Probably not. Okay, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here before... Okay. There's that Oh my fucking god. Hate trying to fucking aim for the Bismarck and then it just aims at the island that's in front of it. That Mutsu's not doing anything useful whatsoever. Torps on the Sinop might be okay. No, he's just able to turn away completely. I mean, I guess they were, like, it was a pretty much max range, so I guess they have the highest spread at that point, but still, that is pretty frustrating. Let's see. Loyang is pretty low. He's getting walked at by a Mutsu, although I don't think the Mutsu's gonna survive that, to be honest. I honestly might have a pretty good shot at the Bismarck right here. Because that smoke is gonna block his line of sight from me. I'm hard spotted by that gun bloom right there. Though we should be okay. Unless that fucking happens.
Enemy submarine destroyed.
Of course, the one fucking secondary shell from the Bismarck sets a goddamn fire.
Critical engine damage.
And this guy's just fucking walking. Go. We're dark now, as long as none of these sets a fucking fire. Alright, we're good. That was very irritating, if I'm being honest. Although I guess I did get pretty aggressive there, so I deserved it, I guess, but still. Sucks that it had to cost me that much health. Because that's health I could have lived without losing. Or I guess, to be more specific, I guess that's health I could have lived with. But you know, it is what it is, I guess. The bright side of it is that I did manage to get away from it at least. So, do have that going for me. And I should be going dark there. Yep. Now I think I'm gonna be... First of all, I'm gonna heal up. And I'm going to slip into a B here. Because even though the Synop was able to flip it, he's leaving now. And where the scores are pretty close, both in terms of ships and points. So it actually is going to be important to maintain a capture lead. And to do that, I'm going to be needing caps. And to do that, I need to be in the caps with nothing else in it. Which it just so happens that the enemy team has in fact kind of fucked off right after taking B. Which I'm not sure completely as to why. But, I mean, I guess to be fair, the Synop is kind of low. So it's understandable for him to want to fuck off, but the Nagato is still pretty healthy. Although I guess we do have a pretty healthy Bismarck of our own that's kind of pushing in. So, let's see. Synop and those guys are both kiting away, so I'm not going to bother trying to do anything to them. I'm just going to get B here, and I'm just going to sit here and wait for them to pretty much be forced to come to me at this point. I could honestly also consider smoking up our own Bismarck for him to do some secondary memery, but I don't think he's smart enough to comprehend that play. Which isn't meant to insult him directly, which even though it kind of is, it's just a fact of life that random players are fucking stupid. And that's pretty much an established fact of playing this game, is that your random teammates are not going to know what the fuck they're doing. They're not going to know how to win games or what they need to do in order to win games. They're just going to see the enemy and they're just going to walk at the enemy because that's what their baboon brains have conditioned them to do. And that's what you see with this Bismarck right here. I also am cutting it a little bit risky with the fucking Cleveland right there. Just gonna put some torps out like that, because you never know. And now I'm just going to get ready to haul ass. I don't think those torps are going to hit unless that Cleveland turns back in. But, you know, I guess you never know until you try. I'm gonna try and defend our Bismarck here at least a little bit. And like I said, look at this fucking Bismarck. He's literally just walking into 3 battleships. Well, that's the Cleveland dealt with. Normally I say don't do this, don't reverse, but I do see that torpedo right there, so I just don't want to, I just want to make sure I was clear of it. Although it did expire there, so not too bad. Now I'm going to try and get a fire going on this Bismarck. And I want this Bismarck to have to pay for the damage he's doing to our Bismarck with as much of his health as possible. Or that just happens. So, alright. Win con right now is just hold on to A and B without dying. So that's pretty much what I'm going to try and do. Although what I might also do at the same time is try and maybe look at putting a torpedo shot towards this Nagato or the Synop, because our win condition is hold on to A and B, and theirs is going to be to either A, kill off a bunch of us, or B, start capturing points. And to do that, they're not going to be able to cap B from C. That's just, obvious. So what I'm gonna do is I want to try and, well, I think I'm going to get spotted here no matter what. But yeah, I just want to try and get into a position where I can punish them for having to push from C into B. And to do that, I want to be in a position where they're going to be either going to have to take the long way around, the longer way around into B, or risk just having to push into my torps while broadside. Or he's just going to gamer turn in front of a Synop, because that works too. So here comes implacable dive bombers.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
I also could go submarine hunting as well, but alright, that's not ideal, but okay, we'll deal with it. I'm gonna try and be broadside to these. Like so. I'm gonna save my Def AA for a full squadron. Oh wow, this guy's gotten very unlucky. In the interest of not getting shotgunned here, I'm just going to put the torps down range and I'm just going to start hauling ass. Or I'm going to hit a fucking beach, because reasons. Also, while I'm at it, I'm going to use the smoke to block the line of sight from the, from those planes. Our submarine is about to get his ass whooped. So the best we can do here is probably gonna be to trade.
Smoke screen set.
That submarine hasn't been spotted in 5 minutes, so it's not a whole lot to be done about him. Our Synop is pretty damn low, so he's probably gonna die. The fucking salmon is going to die here. So I think right now, in order to help us ensure a win, my best interest is going to be to step into C here. Implacable is way the fuck up there, but so is their Synop, so it was at least a trade. Oh, and there's the fucking salmon way the fuck over there, about to grief our Lexington. But honestly, with all 3 caps here, we should be okay.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
And I want to just get rid of these. And we're good. There we go. Those are gone. I could have used my priority sector there, but the reason I didn't was because I didn't want to reinforce, like, when he was nose on to me, what I didn't want to happen was I reinforce one side, like say I reinforce this side right here, and then he just makes a mild adjustment and is suddenly on my non-reinforced side, and I just like lined myself up perfectly for that, goddamn. But that's what happens when you're running your mouth, I guess. But I just didn't want to risk reinforcing one side and then he just makes a slight adjustment and then goes towards the other weak side. So that's why that's what was up with that. So anyway, that was a decent game. I kind of had to work a little bit for that, even though I did kind of int pretty hard fairly early on into that. But you know, it happens. So we still made a good showing out of it regardless. So on that note, honestly, for a blacklisted pink guy, he did pretty well, so props to him, I guess. But on that note, that I think is going to be enough World of Warships for today. And I will see you tomorrow, I guess.